Hello and welcome back to Deadline Contenders documentary and Unscripted. Last fall, Fox debuted the second season of Special Forces World's Toughest Test. Here to talk about their experience in New Zealand are host of Going Home with Tyler Cameron, gold medalist speed skater Aaron Jackson, host of The Vile Files, Nick Vile, and recording artist Jojo Siwa. Hi, everybody, and thanks for being here. Before we talk about the big show, I want to share a clip from Special Forces.
For the celebrities coming out on this course, the cold is going to be the great equalizer.
My heart is open, eyes are wide.
This is far beyond anything I'm about to experience in my life.
I am standing.
Why are you here?
The whole country's pissed off at me.
I had an affair
I
and
want to take a beating.
Close my heart.
Few of you, if any, will remain at the end of this course.
I want to see what I'm capable of doing.
Use my legs.
this is going to be challenging.
Physically
My legs are numb.
Use my heart.
I can't do it.
and emotionally.
Use my voice.
What's on your heart right now, my man?
My daughter drowned in our neighbor's pool. I guess if I want clarity.
I can't believe it. I just wish I could be a stronger person.
You've come to the right place.
It's going to be a big drop. Hope you prepare for this.
As much hard times as there is here, there's also a lot of accomplishment. Damn what I'd give to go to dinner with my family.
Wow. Nick, I'm going to start with you because you were crying in that clip. I'm going to start with this question. Why? Why did you do this?
Why? So many reasons, but I think, if I had to sum it all up, it's just, I think it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I think very rarely are you offered an opportunity to truly, see what you're made of. And this was certainly that. I think I had just found out I was about to be a father when I got asked to do the show. And I think, fatherhood is maybe life's greatest challenge, and this was an opportunity to not necessarily, and learn necessarily directly about fatherhood, but being able to put yourself in an environment to see what you're capable of, and put yourself in uncomfortable situations and stressful situations, and see if you could rise to the challenge. I think there's a lot of parallels between that and fatherhood, and I think I was hoping it would be a very rewarding experience, and that's ultimately why I said yes.
Aaron, how about you?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to see what I was capable of as well. I talk a lot about wanting to get comfortable being uncomfortable, so I figured I should, walk the walk if I'm going to talk like that. So, yeah, I really wanted to get out there and just see if I could do it, because I'm kind of a big baby when it comes to most things. I feel like I was scared of almost everything we were doing out there, but I was, excited for the challenge.
Jojo, you did Dancing with the Stars. That was like in your lane. And then you moved to this. Would you say this is in your lane now too?
Now I would in a heartbeat, but before I did Special Forces, I was very sheltered. I made a joke that I was wrapped in bubble wrap my whole life, and that really is so true. Now post Forces, I'm a different human being, as I think all four of us would say. We are all different human beings one way or another from it. But me specifically, I feel like it really gave no choice but to take that bubble wrap and just chuck it down the drain. And my mom, I feel like, is holding on to that bubble wrap now. What do I do with this? You know what I mean? But definitely not my lane before, but now's my lane for sure.
Tyler, were you sheltered? Were you ready for this?
I was not sheltered. Not to JoJo's sense, that's for sure. But I was an ex-football player. I always had an edge to me. I always trained hard. But the last few years, I feel like I kind of lost that edge and lost that, that grit. And I wanted to see if I could still have that edge and put it to the test. And this show was able to fully put that to the test.
I don't know if you guys got a chance to screen the first season. I just remember even from the first episode when they dropped out of that helicopter He was like, no, thanks. Did you, Nick, did you watch a little bit and you still decided to do this anyway?
I did watch, yeah, and yeah, I guess I absolutely did decide to do it. But I agree with you. I mean, there were certainly lots of scenes and a lot of challenges that made me very nervous. But that is why I chose to do it. You know, it was for the opportunity to conquer fears and to embrace challenges and to test my resiliency. So it definitely made me a little nervous, but I welcomed the challenge.
Aaron, when you were preparing for this, did they give you any kind of hint ahead of time? Okay, these are the kinds of things you may be doing.
Well, I figured it was going to be a lot of heights and a lot of water, and unfortunately, those are two of my biggest fears. So I just knew going into it that it wasn't going to be, super fun for me. But yeah, I mean, I guess I was excited by the challenge and just hoping that I wouldn't quit.
Jojo, can you be specific? Was there one challenge in particular that's the living daylights out of you?
Yes. Yeah, all of them did. Me personally, my hardest was actually one that was, I mean, I think most of us would say technically the easiest. And it was the driving challenge. And it's because when I was very, very young, I was 5, but I was in a shooting when I was a kid. And so it brought up some like very strange body trauma that I didn't know that I necessarily had. And I was fearful of it before it happened. And then after it, like as it was happening, it like really, it existed, you know what I mean? And so that was interesting for me to kind of discover and work through. And then I had family by my side there that I made there, and they got me through it, and we were fine.
Wow. Tyler, can you give me an idea of what the day to day is like? Did you get many breaks?
This like you have breaks built in with like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you never feel like you're on break. I feel like you always feel like you're on edge, waiting for the DS to call your name or to call you guys out there. So, like whenever I feel like I could start to relax, something would happen. Boom, we'd be out, and so there was never like a true feeling of a break. Our day was full. I mean, we'd get up early, we get breakfast in, and right away we're off to something, off to a mission, and it was nonstop until late at night, like late, and it was a true work schedule. It was a lot.
Aaron, did you work right through? Did you get any time off, during production?
No, there wasn't really much time off. I know a lot of people have asked me, like, oh, what was it like when the cameras were off? But the cameras were never off. We were on camera 24/7. Even when we went to the bathroom, I think those are some of the best conversations over by the toilets. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there was no time off. It was pretty much go 24/7. And I think that's part of what made it so hard was that you had to be like mentally and physically on the whole time.
Yes.
So it was pretty intense.
Jojo, what did you learn about your competition, about the others? Or more importantly, did you establish who your threat was very early on?
No, honestly, the thing about Forces is no one that is in the room with you is a threat. Everyone that shows up can finish. It's not only one person can win or only 2 or 3 people can win. It's as many that can hold on strong. That's how many can walk away victorious in this situation. But I think what I realized is that these humans, right, that you look at as public figures, as celebrities, as Olympians, I mean, these are now my family and some of the closest people to me. And when we were there, everything gets stripped away. I mean, everything as a said celebrity goes away, and you are just stripped to your straight core. And so you really see everybody's true colors. But yeah, these 3 that are in this room right now are the 3 that had my back the whole time and would not have made it as far as I did without them. But they are the true winners of this show.
Nick, that's an interesting point that she makes, and I'm wondering, when she says you were stripped of your stardom, does that mean there weren't a lot of conversations among you about your previous life? Like, Tyler, let me talk about your seasons of The Bachelor. Or Aaron, that gold medal bitching. I mean, did you have those kind of conversations, or was it just no freaking time?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that what JoJo's point was is that like this was a competition. The only person you were competing with against was yourself. This wasn't a competition amongst peers, and so we really relied on each other to get through this whole challenge. And the DS's their whole mantra was soldiers don't get ready, they stay ready. And I think more than anything, as Tyler and JoJo mentioned, like that affected us on the mental side in terms of us always having to be prepared for at any moment for a mission to get called or to start. And so that being said, when we were driving in Jeeps and when we were on the challenges, we all very much bonded, because we really only had each other. And so whether that was conversations about work or life or family, certainly I learned a lot more about, Tyler and his relationship with his brothers, his obviously relationship with his mom and her passing, and her relationship with her dad. JoJo, I learned a lot about her relationship with her parents and growing up. Same with Erin and her mom's passing and just her relationship with her father and how she got into speed skating and things like that. So, we really had a lot of time to learn about each other. And the more we, went through the week, the more we did, in fact, bond. Because, again, all we had was each other. The DSs weren't there to emotionally support us. They didn't pat us on the back. So we were really the only people each other had for any type of encouragement or human connection or just any type of support system. And I think I can only speak for myself, but those bonds and those connections and us being there for each other allowed me to go as far as I did.
Tyler, were you able to talk with the DS agents off camera, get to know them more, hear more about their lives?
I think the great thing about this show is there is no off camera. I think what you get is 100% true and real. There's no production either. Like, the DS don't really turn off, and we don't get that chance to sit there and ask them, where they're from and what they're doing. The one time I thought DS Billy was trying to get to know me a little bit, he just set me up, and then a whole mission happened. And then I was running and ducking and hiding. I think I was grabbing Aaron's when we got ambushed. Like, they never, DS or DS, and I will say that they tell and share stories about them, and those were some of the most inspiring stories I've ever heard. And I remember listening to Rudy's story right before we went to our final day. I think we can all remember that story, just what he went through, going through his military training and preparing us for what we're about to go through in our final day. And I think that story stuck with all of us as we went through that final day. And so they would tell us some, but they were always on as the staff, and they were always serious. And there was no lightheartedness. It was true serious and grit.
Yeah. When we got done, we got an opportunity to get to know them a little bit. But like Tyler said, there was, I say it was like, it wasn't a TV show. It was like a real life simulation. And so we felt like we were treated like soldiers. We were not, we were treated like people who were very much training for something that, their lives depended on it. And the DSs, played the role perfectly.
And I think it's like the true art in this show is that there is no production or downtime. It is from day 1, minute 1 to day 8, the end of it all. It is like you said, a simulation, and there's no break. There's no DS taking a chill and you chilling out with them. None of that happens. We're in fear of them the whole time.
I have to imagine you were at your most vulnerable. Can you recall ever thinking to yourself, oh my God, I'm so broken here and this is all on camera. Do I want this out there? JoJo, let me start with you. Did you ever have that moment?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I for sure got to a point where I forgot we were on camera. I feel like day 1, like they pulled us out of the van and like you did see like crew members. But then after that, it was pretty much all like when we were on base, when we were getting interviewed by the DS in the mirror room, that was all on setup cams that you didn't see anywhere essentially. The last thing that I ever thought of was like, oh shit, this is on camera. Like that never even like crossed my brain anymore. And it's strange too, coming from and Nick and Ty can relate to this too, I'm sure, a reality TV background, I was like, oh, I know how reality TV works. Like, even small stuff like, oh, I'm going to see the DS have an earpiece in. There is nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. Like, it is crazy how unremoved from a TV show it is, but yet it's a TV show.
Aaron, how about you? Did you have a moment like that? Like, oh, I'm putting it all out there.
Well, I think for the most part, I was trying to be super robotic the entire time because I knew that if I got emotional at any point, it was going to be all over. So I was just trying to put on a brave face like the whole time so that I wouldn't, I don't know, show a chink in the armor and like break down during the filming. So no, I tried to keep it very closed pretty much the whole time. But I think in that final day, that's when I really started to doubt. I was like, I've made it this whole way, and it's been, I don't know, like I guess a privilege to be able to be in this sort of pain, basically. But the final day, I was like, I don't know if I can keep pushing through this, just with the the torture stage and the stress positions and the noises and all that. So I feel like the last day I was, very close to breaking. And I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of it in like what aired on TV. But I was kind of curious to see what I looked like in that final day, just squirming around on the floor and, I don't know, trying to get some ounce of comfort and warmth in that last day. But no, I don't think I was ever worried about how I looked on TV until that final day.
Nick, how did you look that final day?
Like I was tortured. No, but like very similar to JoJo and Aaron. I certainly had. I mean, up until like once I got to day 5, I think every moment I felt like my body was going to shut down and not sure if I could make it any further. But like Aaron and JoJo, and I imagine Tyler would be similar, there wasn't a lot of thought of been like, oh shoot, I hope I come across this, in a good way. That was, you were literally trying to survive. But I will say, like, one thing being on The Bachelor taught me, had I even thought about it, is that, especially in reality TV, your most vulnerable moment is your best moment. It may not feel like that. You might be worried about, it's very scary to be vulnerable in general, let alone, potentially to millions of people watching you. But that is when people really shine, and that's when you're most relatable. And I learned that lesson on The Bachelor. So it really wasn't a concern. I didn't put much thought into it. And again, I don't think we even had the bandwidth or the mental capacity to worry about our image when we were literally trying to survive this very realistic simulation.
Okay, great place to end it. The cast of Special Forces. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.